You're listening to the Breakaway Breakdown podcast, where we bring you interviews with some of the top ropers in the country, news about what's going on in the fastest sport on dirt, training tips for you and your horses, and so much more. I'm your host, Casey Allen. Let's jump in. Okay, you guys, I could not be more excited to share this week's episode with you. I sat down with world champion, NFBR Qualifier, college national finals champion, two-time Wendy Ryan Memorial Roping champion. Actually, you know what, guys? This will be faster if I list off the things she hasn't won in the sport of breakaway roping than what she has. I'm talking about Hope Thompson, who, besides being an incredible threat in the breakaway roping, heading, and heeling, has, along with Larry D. Guy, trained some of the best rope horses and ropers in the industry, and is literally one of the nicest human beings I've ever met in my life. So this episode might not be as technical as some of our other episodes, but this is probably my favorite that I've had the chance to do here on the breakdown, because we get into what makes Hope Thompson Hope Thompson. And I think once you guys listen, you will get some insight into just what an amazing person she is, what a great outlook she has. And if this doesn't get you fired up for the present and future of breakaway roping, I don't know what you're doing. I mean, there's just so many mic drop moments. Like, I listened to this episode so many times trying to figure out the best way to give it to you guys. And honestly, I ended up going with our completely 100% unedited conversation. I sat down with Hope after she won the all-around and the year-end all-around and made the showdown round in the heading and heeling with Riley Smith and in the breakaway roping at the Women's Rodeo World Championship in Fort Worth, Texas a few weeks ago. She was full of emotion. There were so many things going through her head, and I really had a chance to just be a sponge. So this is a little bit of a relaxed episode because it's literally just our conversation, and I'm someone that has learned from Hope. I have so much respect for her, and this answered a lot of the questions that I had about her, and I hope that it helps answer some of your guys' questions and helps you get a better understanding of the struggle that breakaway ropers have gone through bringing their sport to the main stage and how grateful they are to associations like the WCRA for what they've done for ropers. Another company that we are very grateful for is Fastback Ropes, who brought you this episode, and I will make sure to tell you more about them at the commercial break. All right, guys, as usual, I know you're tired of hearing me talk, but let's just jump right in. All right, Hope, how many buckles do you have sitting in front of you right there?
There's 4 sitting in front of me, and they kept 2 of them.
Okay, so we're going to start there. We got 6 buckles for the week, and let's just talk about your week, because I don't even know where to start. I mean, won the year end, won the all-around tonight. I was losing track all week.
I've still lost track. It's phenomenal what the WCRA has done for us as athletes as a whole, but especially women, you know, having this all-women's event. I had no idea when I went to the luncheon today that I was going to win, like, 4 heeling buckles. Like, it was just, it's unreal, like, what they've done for us and the opportunities that they've given us.
Awesome. So we know where you're at today, but I want to make sure people know your story and how you got into rodeo, and just tell the Hope Thompson story.
I didn't grow up in a rodeo family at all. My mother, or my parents, actually owned a pawn shop. That's what they did with me growing up. And my mom rescued some horses and brought them home, or brought them to the pawn shop. And my dad was like telling, you know, she's like, I got these horses. And he's like, we don't even have a fence. And so she's like, well, you're going to have to build one. And so from then on, we just, you know, you get horses, you meet horse people. And I got into, they took me to watch a play day, and I fell in love with it, wanted to do it. Always wanted to rope. I carried a rope around, and they wouldn't ever let me. Just, you know, they didn't know enough about it to teach me and stuff. So I started out with all the speed events. I ran barrels, I ran poles, and play day events, of course. And then like I said, just passionate about the roping. And so once I was about 11 or 12 years old, they got me with the right people. And you know, R.E. Josie was a huge influence on my roping, and he's actually who got me my first invite to the Wendy Ryan. And that same year I won the college finals. It's just, you know, I put in the work, I will say that, but I've been blessed, and I've gotten with the right people, and my family is just a huge support system, and it's pretty amazing.
Awesome. So how did you end up, you know, won the college finals, correct? And how did you end up college rodeoing? You know, did RE lead you to that, or?
Just rodeo in general, yeah. Like I said, roping was a passion of mine. So once I finally, you know, got to rope and got around the people who helped me and taught me to rope, I ran barrels still through college, and then I ended up selling my barrel horses and just put all my focus towards roping. I actually was just breakaway roping. I'd never team roped until about 2010, when I went out to the Guy Ranch with Larry D and had that little conversation. You know, I had no idea that I would still be living there and partner on horses and you know, basically building a business with the legend Larry D Guy. You know, I'd had conversation with her about it. She was the one woman in our industry at that time that actually made a living with a rope, you know, and that's what I always wanted to do. We just didn't know it was possible, and she made it possible, but she did it in a man's world, you know. And I looked up to that, and they gave me that opportunity too. They took me in. The Guy family have taken me in like I'm their own, and it's just I'm blessed, and now what the rodeo world has done, and it is time that a woman can make a living with their rope.
Awesome. And then selling your barrel horses, you know, back in 2010, I'm sure most of you didn't have any clue that the sport was going to go this direction. I mean, was that a leap of faith for you?
Yeah, absolutely. It was time. I wasn't going to keep running barrels. So, you know, I had to sell them, and my focus was roping, and I guess you would call it a leap of faith. I mean, had things not fallen the way they fell, I would probably be working a 9-to-5 job and figuring it out. Through college, I gave roping lessons. I rode some outside horses, you know, so I got by through college doing that. And then, you know, did some of that on my own at Larry D's. She got me clients. I got to ride some outside horses and stuff like that. But with how much it's grown, I'm fortunate that now I get to buy my own, put my time into my own, sell my own, you know, more than riding for the public. So it was a leap of faith. And like I said, I mean, I give this industry and everyone stepping up that, you know, to make it as big as it's gotten, especially the WCRA. That's what I said. I feel that they are the first ones who actually stepped up, put us on the same platform, gave us equal money. I mean, we are part of their rodeo. And when I say we, I mean the breakaway ropers, the women ropers, and now the team roping too with the women's event. So I give them all the credit. I mean, they are trying to fill our pockets, and I feel that is something that we as women athletes in the rodeo industry should definitely support them and give back to them.
Yeah, I love that about the WCRA. It's not like Breakaway is an afterthought.
Exactly.
And it's not like they ever, I don't feel like they stepped out and were like, oh, look at us, we're just going to give them equal added money. They stepped up immediately, like you said, from the gate, and were like, they deserve this, and it's happening, end of story.
Yeah, they took a stand for us. You know, when they first brought on the WCRA, if I don't get this wrong, and they said we're going to have Breakaway, and, you know, they were told, you know, it was going to be less money in the Breakaway, and they said, no, we're going to do equal money, we're going to do it the same way, or we're not going to do it. I mean, they took a stand for us, and that's why we're here.
And then, you know, going back to it, like you said, rodeo is a man's world, and roping especially is a man's world. So as a female in the sport, how do you feel that, you know, you, Larry D, JJ, Jackie, how have you guys gained the respect, and what advice would you give to girls looking to kind of equalize that playing field?
Gained the respect, we've all had role models. Like I said, I've had Larry D to look up to, Jackie to look up to, just watching them do it, watching the work that they put in. And so I knew that if I worked that hard or harder, I had a chance in this man's world, and I don't even think we can say that anymore. I think it's now time that, the women are equal in this industry. I mean, I really think that it's to that point. So I would just say, this is something that we are super passionate about, all those ladies that you named and more, the ones that came before us that started this, that even gave us something to pick up where they left off, and just keep working hard at it, leave it better than whenever you came into there. And I think it's just going to keep growing.
Mm-hmm. And like you said too, I mean, how can they not give you that respect eventually when you have put in the work? You don't have the last name that just put you through the door here. You worked your way into it every step of the way. I think that's amazing. So the first of your and Larry D clinics I went to, I was 15 or 16 years old. And, I can say from experience what you guys have done for the youth in this sport. And, I mean, do you guys even have any clue how many ropers you've brought into the game? Like, talk about that being a mentor in the sport.
It's pretty cool, and Larry D could speak this probably even better than me. I'm fortunate, like I said, I gave some lessons to get through college and stuff like that, but to be able to go and travel the world and meet all kinds of people, the future in this sport, help them rope, and then you look up and they're out here competing against you, and so just to know that you maybe had some sort of influence in their life or helped them, anything to get where they are. It's just super cool. I'm passionate about that too. Larry D and I laugh. It's hard to leave sometimes, because as much as I love to rope, it's hard to leave and go help someone else rope. But there's always someone there and a story and knowing that you gave back, that it'll just give you goosebumps, and not just roping, just in life in general. We've gotten stories of people literally saying, we've changed their life in some sort of way and touched them. I got a text from a little girl today that I give lessons to. She actually bought a horse from me, and that's what she said. She's like, don't tell Larry D, but you're still my favorite. But just cheering me on and watching me and wanting to get into this. Was asking a bunch of questions, wanting to get into it, wanting to be a part of it. So it's awesome being able to influence people and being part of people's lives.
I love that. And let's talk about some of the great horses you've had through the years. I mean, just walk us through some of the one you won the college finals on, and the horses that have made your career.
The horse that I won everything on with the college finals, the Wendy Ryan, the first year I won the Wendy Ryan, his name was 8-Track. I got him, only reason I got him is he started out as a tie-down horse, actually belonged to Jade Connor, Josie Connor's dad. We all know Josie because she kicks our butt. But I lived with them.
Yeah.
I lived in college. I lived with Jade and Wendy.
I didn't know that.
Yep. And I'd take Josie to school. I'd pick Josie up from school, and Jade would have Tuesday and Wednesday night jackpots, and I had 8-Track. I bought 8-Track from him, and when I'd go up and get my money, they'd give me my money, and Josie was a little bitty tiny thing, and she's like, I want to get the money like Hopi. And so now I give her heck, because I'm like, you need to be easy on Hopi. Like, she's taking all of Hopi's money. But no, 8-Track definitely, I mean, without him I would not be where I am today. He was a freak athlete. He taught me everything that I know. Yeah, and then I've gotten to train a few. I trained Ink. Great horse. I got her as a 3-year-old. She's by Starlight Gypsy. Got to train her. I've been riding her at Rodeo since she was 5 years old. I think she's 13 this year. I bought Ace, which is what I rode here. Been riding him since last summer. Didn't train him same thing. He was a tie-down horse that wasn't working out, and he's been a huge blessing in my career. We fit really good. Andre, my head horse, Larry D and I partnered on him as a 4-year-old and trained him. And man, I don't know, like those horses, that's what I said, for us, they're not just transportation. They mean a ton to us, and to be able to say that, you know, I've trained and put time into them, and they've made great horses, but they've also molded me into what I am today too.
Yeah, one of the amateur associations we competed with, they had a rule that you couldn't vet out in the breakaway roping, because they said, well, breakaway ropers can just get on another horse. And I was like, man, they do just as much work as the other events.
Yeah, you know, it's a partnership. Mm-hmm. Like, I believe in that 100%. I mean, I'm not going to say that people don't jump ride horses well and rope good on other horses, but it's definitely a partnership for me. I feel that, you know, you become a team, and that's what helps you to keep winning for sure.
Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Fastback Ropes. Fastback Ropes was created in 1995 with a single mission in mind: to build the best rope on the market. That will always be their number one goal, according to Fastback Ropes. They believe it's important to focus on building the best product possible and treat customers with the respect that they deserve. Now, besides being a great company, they feature 2 ropes that I think you breakaway ropers are going to like. The first is the Edge, a 4-strand calf rope. It's made of texturized poly. It's a tough and durable rope that stands up in all conditions and outlasts the competition. The other rope that they've come up with is exclusively for breakaway ropers, unlike the Edge, which was offered to calf ropers previously. It's called the Athena, and besides being pink and having a purple dyed core, which is awesome, the poly core provides enhanced tip weight and durability. It's a tough and durable rope that stands up in all conditions and gives a snappy finish and close. Make sure to check out fastbackropes.com for more information and to get your ropes.
And then, I mean, you guys have gone some amazing places, even before, you know, Breakaway got to where it is now, and Vegas and everything. So just talk about some of your favorite stories through the years of the places the rope has taken you. I mean, I know one of the clinics we were at in New York, you guys were on your way to New York City afterwards to visit for the first time, so.
Oh man, unbelievable. You know, and that's something that we try to do, like, the places that we get to go and the people that we get to meet, that's literally on people's bucket list. And we get to do that. We get to make a living doing that. You know, like you said, New York, visited New York City, rode a train. I've gone to Australia 3 times. I've gone to Sweden, all over the United States, Hawaii. I mean, the places that I've seen because a rope has carried me there it's surreal. Like I'm shaking my head right now just thinking about it. It's unbelievable to think that, you know.
I can see your eyes going. It's like they're replaying in your head.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. The people that we've met, the places that we've been, just, and the rope has carried us those places.
Awesome. And then let's talk about the last few years. I mean, Breakaway has jumped exponentially. How have you guys kept up with that schedule and accelerated, or were you just ready when the gates banged?
You know, talked about it. I mean, there's been so many women fighting for it to get where it is, and I think the whole end game is us wanting it to be in the NFR as an added event. We don't want to take away from any other events. We don't want to, you know, we just want to be part of the rodeo. And so that's our goal, and it's spending a lot of money. You know, we're spending just as much money as all the other athletes out there, and we don't rope for near as much in our end game. So I think that's our ultimate goal. But so grateful, like I said, for places like this. You know, to come here and win 58,000 in 2 days.
That was the total.
Yeah.
Wow.
In 2 days, and have this experience. It's unbelievable, you know, and I know it can get there because these guys have done it for us. But we're gonna keep working hard and keep pushing for it. But that's what I said. Somebody else might have to pick up where we leave off, but we're gonna keep after it.
Just keep swinging that rope.
That's right.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool this week. I mean, they had a great crowd tonight.
They did.
And there was no rough stock, there was no men. It was just girls running barrels, girls roping, and I think that proves right there you guys can sell it out.
We can, and it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's during the week, and that place was loud and it was packed, and it's cool. I said to someone earlier, I said I couldn't have rewritten the last 2 days any better than they happened. I feel this is definitely one of the highlights in my career, and I mean probably will always be. It didn't go today exactly how I planned, but I mean that's rodeo. That's what I said. I had a blast. Last year I was a bit foggy, like just didn't feel I had a great year. Totally my fault. My mom came up with breast cancer. I felt kind of torn 2 different directions, and to go out there and have fun tonight was cool.
Was your mom down here for this?
No.
No, she's back home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
During the week, but she would have been,
Yeah.
and she was rooting for me. My dad called, and she was like, he was like, your mom's gone crazy. She's in here clapping and yelling, and I'm like, well, Dad, we did good, and he's like, I know, but you couldn't hear her. So they're my biggest support. I mean, they're watching every step of the way and pulling us on.
And how cool is that, too, because they weren't rodeo parents, but they've gotten so into it, and I'm sure they know as much as any rodeo parent, any parent that grew up rodeoing themselves just from seeing you go so many places.
Oh, yeah. I mean, whether they do or they don't, they coach me. My dad coaches me, tells me how to score, how many swings to take. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, they do. They get it. That's what I said. I wouldn't be where I am without them. They took me all the junior rodeo miles and high school rodeo miles, and it's just, yeah, they're still a huge influence in my career.
How did they end up getting you with RE when you were younger? Did they just know they were the best couple out there more than him?
Ari took me in.
Okay.
We live 35 miles
Okay.
from the Josie Ranch, and so, like I said, running barrels and stuff, I was always there to the clinics and to the reunion and to the junior world, and always running barrels, and Ari just took me in, and I got to rope with him. I got to help him with the roping clinics and stuff like that, and that's what I said. He got me my first invite, and I've never seen a more proud man in my life when he got me in, because, I mean, they didn't know. I was just an East Texas girl. They hadn't heard of me, and he's like, I think that year I won both rounds and the short round and set an arena record, so I won it all the way across, and he took me up there and introduced me to everybody and said, I hope that she impressed you, so he didn't have to work so hard to get me my next invite. But yeah, it was just growing up there and family friends, or became family friends. And
yeah, Ari and Martha are some of the best, and I know that must have been hard losing him this year.
oh man, still is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is, speaking of a legend, that was an amazing man.
Yeah, there's another couple that what they've done for the youth in the sport, I mean,
And continue to do.
yeah. It's and then, all right, walk me through this week, because it was a whirlwind. So let's slow down, let's walk through the rounds. How did you handle switching breakaway, heading, heeling as rapidly as you were?
It really didn't feel hectic until today, actually. It was just one event at a time. I got to ride. I roped with Riley. I headed and heeled for Riley.
That was cool.
Yeah,
You guys just switched ends back to
we
back.
just up and back. I rode her heel horse named Jane, which is a great horse. I've had great success on both of her heel horses. Actually, the last time that we won the women's event, I was also heeling for Riley on her other horse, and just shortly after that horse, she lost that horse, and she trained this one, and so I rode her at this event as well. I don't know, just one event at a time, and what's super cool about rodeo is, even though you're competing against everyone here, you're also friends with them. They're rooting for you, they're pulling for you. So tonight, Jackie Crawford's in the competition. Larry D's having to do the CBS broadcast. So, I mean, Jackie steps up, no problem, even though, we're competing against each other. She's there for me. Cheyenne's warming horses up for me and switching them out and just making it as easy a transition as possible. And as far as the roping and competing, you just take a deep breath, and like I said, it's one event at a time. And the most important thing for me today, and that's what everyone, are you ready? And I had a blessed week coming into today, so today was almost just like a bonus. And so that's what I said. It was all about going in there, taking it serious, absolutely. Life-changing money was up, but it was about having fun. The hard part was over. We got there. It was just about going in there and having fun. And that's what I said. We won 4th and 5th both in the team roping, and then the breakaway was probably the most disappointing. Like, I felt like that was the easiest cap I had all week. Yeah. It just didn't work out. It just wasn't meant to be, and that's rodeo.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was Martha's day out there, and she put a show on. And
a lot of days are Martha's day.
I know.
Martha's handy.
Martha's had, I think we figured 70,000 won this week. Yeah, that's, to see multiple girls win that much money in 1 week is crazy to me. Like, it's not just one of you. There's so many girls that had great wins this week.
Absolutely. It's unreal. That's what I keep shaking my head. Like, I didn't even finish how I wanted to today. But the amount of money that I get to take home, it's crazy. So thankful.
You do have to eat at some point, though. We got to remind you to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so, talk about something that I've admired about you guys is win, lose, or draw. You come out, level, take care of your horses, all that good stuff. And, as you said, you've had some hard times in the last year or so. How do you separate outside of the arena from inside of the arena when roping is your career and kind of your life?
It gets to you. Anyone who says it doesn't is lying to you. And it's something that I've really had to work on. I had success early on. I don't want this to sound wrong, but I didn't lose much. And, going back, if I could tell my younger self something, I would have taught myself how to lose better. Because you're going to at some point. You're going to lose at some point. And so I've had to work on it. I've hired a mental game coach. I've worked with Dawnine Taylor.
We love Dawnine.
Yeah, she's awesome. And I've had to learn, and the biggest thing, and putting into perspective, even like I said with my mom, this is something that I get to do. I do not have to do this. I could be sitting behind a desk, working a 9-to-5 job, and, begging to get to go rope whenever I could. I get to do this. I'm super blessed. And so anytime that, I want to blow up and get mad and whatever, I just have to put it into perspective. And I think it's easier said than done. That's what I'm telling you. I'm not going to lie to anybody. I have to work hard at it.
Yeah.
But it's part of it, and there's no reason to make, something you love so much make you miserable. So
I like that.
Just get over it, and there's something dang near every day to get to go to, so you might as well get over it and keep after it.
Yeah. So did you guys say you're entered up this weekend too?
We are, but close to home. We're Saturday morning, I think, Liberty Hill, Saturday night, Vernon. So
awesome. So let's talk about, you went full-time breakaway around 2010. How have you seen the styles change, the horses change? What has the evolution of breakaway looked like over the past decade or so?
Everyone ropes good. There's not just those certain few now that you say, oh, so-and-so's great. Everyone ropes good. And the horsepower, I know back 10 years ago, breakaway ropers didn't ride the best horses, and eye-catchy horses and whatever. And now, I mean, you look up and the horsemanship, the horsepower, the talent, it's awesome. Like, it gives me chill bumps. I love it because it's fun to watch. I think people love to watch it because it's gotten so good. The girls have gotten so good. Look at the kids. I mean, Josie Connor, what is she, 18 years old and professional, you know, just, it's unbelievable. And that's, I don't know what else to say about it, but everybody ropes good. Everybody's riding really good horses. The whole industry, the business of it, and selling the horses and what the horses are going for now, it's just, it's pretty awesome.
It's a fun ride.
Yeah. If you're selling.
Not if you're buying. And then, which you kind of already said, you would tell yourself, your younger self, how to. You kind of already mentioned better. That you would teach your younger self how to lose better. But if you had to give, like, any other piece of advice to, like, 15-year-old Hope sitting in front of you, what would you go back and tell her?
Enjoy the journey. It goes by so fast. Enjoy the highs and let the lows go, because that's what I said. You're going to have a bunch of both, but enjoy it all equally. That's what I would tell. The 15-year-old Hope would have never said, don't let something you love so much make you miserable. But the 35-year-old Hope says that, and I truly believe that. I love this. I don't know what I would do without this. And so I'm not going to let it make me miserable. I'm going to have fun doing it. I'm going to enjoy doing it. And that's what I would tell someone.
All right, awesome. Well, Hope, I'm going to let you get a snack, let you get on the road, and we all need to get some sleep, I think. Yep. But it's been a fun week, and anything else you want to wrap up with?
No, I appreciate it. This has been fun. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Okay, I don't even have words. I don't even know how to follow up a conversation that great. Congratulations again to Hope for an amazing week at the Women's Rodeo World Championship. Thank you to the WPRA for all that they do, and thank you to everybody that is on the side of Breakaway Ropers, helping to make this sport great, and as Hope said, for all the women that are out there right now doing it, and all the women before us. Also, just thank you to Fastback Ropes for bringing you guys this episode and making it possible, and that's all for now. Stay tuned because we will have a guest from the Wendy Ryan Memorial Roping next time, and it's a very technical episode that I think you guys are gonna love. Make sure to keep up with BreakawayRopingJournal.com, our Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok to stay in the know, and keep on kicking butt, guys. We'll see you soon.